Hi everyone, today we'll be creating a game using Canvas and HTML, some HTML, some JavaScript, just very little CSS. Yeah, nothing special, but the game is quite nice. It's sort of similar to Flappy Bird, but I find this to be slightly more interesting, and it wouldn't be interesting to just write another Flappy Bird. There are tons of those on YouTube with tutorials on Unity, on Phaser, and actually probably any engine that you can think of. So this is the game. It's called Hungry Shark. I created this with my teammates last year, so those are all of them. And yeah, so we'll be using this. I've rewritten a big portion of the code because at the time, quality code and object-oriented programming were a bit vague in our minds. So yeah, I rewrote a couple of classes, and if you want, in the end, I'll show you what I've rewritten and why. If not, then we'll just leave it as is. So yeah, this is the game. You just play it with space. I actually have to do something here, so let me have to reduce the sounds, which I cannot see. Where can I do that from? Yeah, anyway, so those people that are watching at home, every time when I played the game, you should probably turn the volume down, because I noticed that last time when I was showing you one of the games from the browser, on the video it was really loud. So every time when I play this game, you should probably turn the volume down. So yeah, this is the shark, and we can eat fish, and there is the health bar on top. We have a score. It's actually quite addictive, so in the end I would make a small contest who is gonna make the most. But yeah, so my record is around 8,000, but this happened after a long 2-hour session playing this game. So yeah, right now I can get probably around 2,000, maybe even that's a bit much. Yeah. Anyways, we have menu, we have exit, high scores, which saves our current score. We did not make it so that it's gonna keep your scores if you refresh the page, but that can easily be done with something like cookies or local storage. Probably local storage is the best option, but yeah. All right, so let's get started. So I've opened up my WebStorm project, and there are a couple of things that I would like to keep, and I'm not going to rewrite from scratch, of course. So, and I'm just going to use, because I don't want to, find them again and so on. So we have the sounds. We have byte sound, game over sound, and main sound, which was the tune that you were listening to from a minute ago. We'll use very little of jQuery. It's gonna help us put the text in the high score. We could have done it with Canvas as well, but the original game was done with CSS and HTML, so I'll just keep that. So for those of you that don't know, jQuery is a library in JavaScript, and if you want to make websites or anything, this is probably one of the best libraries out there. You can make drop-down menus and so on in just like 2 or 3, 5 lines of code instead of what we did last time. One of the previous lectures. So yeah, we are not going to go into detail because we are not web developers, but just a couple of shortcuts here and there, so that we can just type commands in one line instead of having to do it in many. Alright, so we have the sounds, we have the jQuery, which is the only thing that we'll be using. We have the images here, so we have the bloodstain, we have the boats, which are on the top, credits menu, game over menu, high scores. This is the ocean floor at the bottom. We have the fish, which is like a sprite sheet with the 3 states of the fish. We have the shark. I think here we're only using these 3. I'm not sure. The one in the end, I think we just place the bloodstain and we not use the last one. I'm not sure. We'll see. And then we have the start screen. From the game scripts, I've deleted everything except for this sprite.js, which makes sort of the animation. I really didn't want to go into details about that because this is written from scratch, how you should handle animations, and I'm sure that pretty confident that my colleagues didn't write this themselves. Probably just copied from somewhere. But what this thing does is, and I'll zoom in and I'll look through it very briefly. So what this thing does is it creates an animation from a couple of sprites, okay, and here we have the width and the height of each frame of, say, of the fish. You know, there were 3 frames. For the shark there were 3 frames as well. Here we give the width and the height. We have the frame index, which is what frame is currently displayed, and tick count is something that tells us how long should each frame be on screen. And in this case, since we have like 3 images, a good value for tick count would be like 10, because we want to change every 10 frames. We want to change the picture. Otherwise, it's gonna be it's gonna move really fast. So yeah, and here we have render. We have some I really don't want to go into detail about this. It's just this if here is what gives the tick count, which means how long should each frame of the animation be displayed. We're just gonna use that as is, and if you want to look at it, it's not that complicated. It's just there is this weird line of code which says var that equals empty object, and I really didn't want to go into details what this thing does and why is it called that, and so on. So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, we can probably go into it, but I would rather not. If you want, you can look at it at home. So yeah, so let's start with the game. I'll play it once again so that we can define the elements inside and just make some order in which we should be doing them. I already gave you the default, so free curious hungry shark. Please work. Right, so the menus, the high scores, the credits, and so on, we'll do at the end. First, I would like us to make the let me just print the screen there. So let me put a paint here. Control V. Alright, so we have the health bar, which is up here. This is the boat which we see, which is like floating, and we only see just the bottom part of it. We also have the score, which we're gonna do as well with Canvas. We have this is the same boat as the previous one, but we just draw two of them and they move from right to left. I think we did something similar, but I don't remember in which game. Was it the spaceship game? In the spaceship game, we did it with the background. Here is very similar. So we are gonna draw one sprite here, the same sprite here, up to the end. We are gonna move both of them left, and as soon as this sprite ends and goes here, we are just gonna move it to the very right of the canvas. What else do we have? We have the shark. It has an animation which is of 3 frames. We have the bottom, which is the same as the boats here, and we have some fish, which are probably the hardest part of this game. But you'll see it's nothing that complicated, the whole thing in general. But I think having to come up with the fish and the array and how they spawn and so on is I wouldn't say complicated. It's just a bit more complicated than anything else in the game. So yeah, shark, fish, we have the bottom of the ocean, we have the boat, health bar, and we have the score. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to do is the shark. So we say here, first let me just make an HTML file because I deleted that as well. Actually, so new HTML file, we're gonna call this index.html. And inside here, I would like to have title is going to be hungry hungry shark game. What else do I have? So I want to add the style sheet. So link rel equals style sheet, and href equals style dot css. And let me create that. I probably should put in styles slash style dot css, and let's add it here as well. So new style sheet style dot css. Alright, what else do I need here? Of course we need a canvas. So canvas, and it's gonna have ID just canvas, and width is gonna be 800, height is gonna be 600. Alright, something that I didn't mention, but if I type something inside the canvas, it's going to be displayed once if the browser does not support Canvas. So Canvas is only is an HTML5 element, and some of the older browsers do not support it. So inside here, please download a newer browser. Anything, just not Internet Explorer 7 or below. I think 7 or below, I'm not sure, but anyways. So yeah, this is going to be displayed only if we can open the canvas, so I hope that we're not going to be seeing this message at all. Okay, after that I would like to add the first script tag, which the first script, which is going to be I think I need to include sprite.js. So script, I have to zoom in. Why did nobody tell me? So script, and I want to say here source equals, and I want to go into game scripts slash sprite.js. Okay, and maybe before that we are gonna have script and source. Let's create this shark. So new JavaScript file shark, and inside here I would like to say shark game script slash shark.js. Alright, actually this one should be camel case, so let me fix that very quickly. Now it's fine. Okay, in the style.css, just a couple of things, nothing special. So canvas, actually zoom in. So canvas, and I want to say display block. I want to say border 1 pixel solid black, just so that we can see where it is. What else? Position absolute. This is done so that we can later on position the text inside the canvas element, which is going to be displayed as a separate HTML element on top of the canvas. So this is going to be position absolute. And what else do you want? Margin 0, sorry, margin auto, top 0, bottom 0, left 0, right 0. Alright, and then I would like to have my span, which is just going to be the text for the high scores. The score which is in game, we are going to be doing as just as a canvas text, because we need it to change, all the time. So this is going to be font family papyrus this way, font size 40 pixels, font weight bold, position relative. Alright, is everything up to here fine? So just index.html with the canvas element, and we have the CSS for the canvas and for the span. So this is just going to be some text that we're going to be placing in game. Any questions so far? No? Let's get started with the shark then. Okay, so zoom in again, and as you know, everything in JavaScript is a function. So our class shark is going to be just a function. So function shark. Shall I make this bigger, or this is fine? Anyone, just anyone awake? Okay. Right, so here I would like to have context and initial x, initial y. So this is where our shark will start from, which is going to be somewhere around the middle. All right, and this dot x equals initial x. This dot y equals initial y. And sorry?
With a minus? Or?
Without a minus, sorry. Initial y. Okay. What else do we have? This dot velocity y equals 0. So at first, it's not going to move anywhere, but in the update, we're going to change the velocity of y to something else. All right, we have this dot gravity. Yeah, gravity equals 0.2, and actually this is a constant, so I would rather put it in capitals this way. And also we have this dot jump height, which is going to be 7. So these are pre-made values, and these are constants as well. So I've tested and I've done it with them, so we are going to use that as well. So this is pretty much how high is our shark gonna jump. If I put this higher, it's gonna jump higher. If it's lower, it's gonna jump lower. All right, so let's create the image. So this is something that I didn't show last time with Canvas, but it's nothing special. You see that it just works. So this dot shark image equals new image, and the only thing that I have to say here is this dot shark image dot source equals, and inside here I have to say images / shark dot png, if that's the thing. So let's go to images. This is shark dot png, this thing, which includes all of our sprites. So yeah, inside here, what else do we want to do? We actually want to create the sprite animation. So this dot shark sprite, yeah, equals sprite, and inside here, just 1 second. Okay, so if we go into the sprite here, there are a couple of things that the constructor of the sprite expects. So we have to give context, width, height, x, y, image, and we also have to give the ticks per frame and so on. So this is what those values are gonna be. Instead of doing it through the constructor, I'll just give an object here. So these two brackets mean that I'm just gonna give an object with some specific values. So semicolon here, and the object that we want to give has context, which is gonna be canvas.get context, and inside here 2D. Also, width is gonna be 840. This is the size. This is the width of the whole sprite. Comma, height is gonna be 100. There is something wrong here, and oh yeah, up here. So yeah, height is gonna be 100. After that, we have x is this dot x, the position of our shark. We have y, which is gonna be this dot y. Image, this dot shark image, the one that we just created, and number of frames. Number of frames is gonna be 3. And ticks per frame are gonna be 8. Okay, so if we if we have less than 8 frames passed, then it's just gonna display the first image. After 8 more, it's gonna be the second image. After 8 more, it's gonna be the third image, and so on, and it's gonna loop back again. So this is what this sprite thing does. So this sprite class, as soon as you give it an object like this, it's gonna do the animations for you, pretty much. All right. So yeah, okay. For the shark, we'll need some methods. So from object-oriented programming in JavaScript, how should I do those? Go to the prototype. So I have to say shark.prototype.draw equals function, and inside here I have to say this dot shark sprite dot update. Right, so this is the update for the animation, and after that we want to say this dot shark sprite dot render this dot x this dot y. So these functions come from our sprite here. So we have render, and we have, what else was that? And we have update as well. Okay, something is wrong here, and I don't know what that is. Function this way. Okay, please go away. Okay. Alright, another method that we want to add, so let me put a blank line here. Another method that we want to add is shark.prototype.update equals function. So the update is going to say this dot y plus equals this dot velocity y, which is going to be our vertical movement, and also we want to add the gravity to the velocity. So it's going to be this dot velocity y plus equals this dot gravity. Alright, is it clear what these two lines are doing? Right, so we are changing the position of the sprite with respect to the velocity, and the velocity changes with the gravity, which means that it's gonna fall faster and faster as it goes down. So if you have the image up here, it's gonna fall up to here, you know, with one speed. Once it gets to here, it's gonna fall slightly faster, inside here even faster, and so on. So this is like, you know, like gravity, pretty much. But this is the calculation for it. And after that, the only thing that is left is shark.prototype.jump equals function with one O. And inside here we just want to say this dot velocity y equals 0.5, and we'll say this dot velocity y minus equals this dot jump height. Okay, so what this thing is gonna do, so we have the jump height, which is just some number here, and why is this a minus sign? Because as we're moving down, the y increases, and we want to actually decrease it so that we can jump up. And yeah, is that sort of clear? The velocity here, we just reset to some value. Yeah.
Do we lower the velocity instead of the y?
Why did we lower the velocity instead of the y? Because if we lower the y, it's gonna teleport. Okay, we want to make that smooth, so it's gonna, when we say jump, it's gonna reset the velocity, and which is gonna make this calculation inside here in the update slightly smoother. If I just change this dot y directly, it's just gonna teleport to some place. Right, any other questions? Nope. Well, this was the shark. And the next thing that we want to do is the prey, or the fish. I have a typo, velocity.y. Do I have many of those? I don't know. We'll see later when we actually start the game. Okay, so the fish I'll actually call prey. And of course I have to include it inside my index.html, so I have to say script. Actually, let me just copy the line above, and I am gonna say prey.js. Zoom in nicely, and we have function prey. So what was that? Let's remind ourselves. Where is my paint? There it is. So we have a couple of fish that come from a random place here. That was a straight line. Yeah. So so yeah, they come. It's a random place, or they spawn. It's a random place here, or just anywhere from the game height. Probably minus the boat, and probably minus some offset here from the sea, from the bottom of the sea. Right, and each of them is moving to the left. As you saw, we don't have any horizontal movement for the shark because it sort of stays in a single place. But the fish are gonna move to the left, which means that in the update we have to decrease their x, but their y remains the same. So if I play the game again here, you see that they just stay at the same place, and I should probably not be closing it at all. So / hungry shark, and I'll do that again if you want. So new game. Now look at the fish. You know, they just spawn at a random place, and they move just left. Yeah. Okay. Where was I typing? So here. All right. We'll need a couple of things. So this .x equals 750. So this is fixed because we want them to spawn at the very right. So probably some around here, because our width of the canvas was 800. So we spawn them at 750. If we want to, we can change that, but just as far from the as far to the right of the canvas as possible. And then we want to say this.y, and now I want to give it a random position along the y-axis. So this is going to be math.floor math.random times 520 plus 60. So which is which? If you remember from last time, math.random gives you a random number between 0 and 1. Once we multiply it by 520, it's going to give me a random number between 0 and 520. And when we add 60, this is going to finally add up to a random number, just rng.next of 60 through 580. Okay, shall I repeat that? So from this part, from 0 to 520, and when you add 60, you add it to both the lower and the upper bound, so we get 60 and 580, which is evaluated to be between the boat and the bottom of the sea. Right, what else do we have? This dot velocity x equals math.random times 2 plus 5. So this is similar as the one on top. I felt no reason to floor this, and probably the first one is going to work without the floor as well. But yeah, so this is the velocity of the fish along the x-axis. So how fast are they moving left? So this was originally set at 5, and if we look at the game that I showed you, is gonna be just 5, and they're all gonna move at a constant speed. But I believe this makes the game a bit more interesting and requires a bit more skill as well. Okay, and then we did the same thing with the image as we did with the shark. So var fish image equals sprite, and inside here I have to say context canvas dot get context 2D. Actually just a comma, and after that we want to say width 130. We also have height, which is 40. We have x, which is this dot x, y, which is this dot y, image, which is fish. Actually, yeah, sorry, so this is fish sprite, and we have separately var fish image equals new image, and after that we have fish image dot source equals images slash prey fish dot png. Let me just look up whether I've done it here correctly as well. So images, and this image is the one right here, prey fish. So we have just an animation of 3 frames for the fish, but it looks quite alright, I think. We'll see that a bit later. So image is going to be fish image. Sorry?
Why is the image not variable, not declared with these dots?
Why is it not declared with this? So the fish image. All right, I'll change it here. I don't mind. It's gonna work either way. We are not gonna need to access it, I think. I don't know. We'll see. So this dot fish image, and there's gonna be this dot fish image as well. All right. Yeah, it's gonna work this way as well, I think. Actually, just give me a second. So I have to give context here in that case for it to work. Okay, then we have number of frames, which is 2. We have ticks per frame, which is going to be 10 in this case. Okay, so a couple of things here as well. We are going to have a method which is going to be isEaten for the fish, because if it's eaten, we want to draw the stained blood, we want to increase the score, and so on. So I'll put that here. So prey dot prototype dot isEaten equals function, and inside here we want to say if this dot x is bigger than 300 and this dot x is less than 340, and shark dot y, which is something that we still don't have, but we'll have it once we put everything inside the game. Less than this dot y, and what else? Actually, let me put this on a new line. I'll go through each of these separately, and shark dot y plus 60 is bigger than or equal to this dot y. All right, so what these lines of code, and I'm sure that you can figure it out once you think about it a bit. So if we have the shark, which is somewhere inside here, and we have the prey, which comes from here, what we're actually checking here is if the sprite of the fish, or sorry, the position, which is just a single point where we actually place our sprite. We want to check if this point is somewhere inside a square, which is somewhere at the top of the shark. So this is why we have this from 300 to 340, which is going to mean the horizontally it should be between 300 and 340, and for the y it's a bit higher, so from 0 to from the shark y to the shark y plus 60, so it's going to be somewhere down here. Okay, why do I not need to take the x position of the shark? Why is it just for the y that I need to take the? Because it just stays here, right? It's always here. So what we want to check is just know, are you somewhere in here, and are you close to the shark's head, which is from shark.y to shark.y plus 60. And if we are there, that means that that means that we are eaten. That the shark ate the prey. All right. Inside here, byte sound dot play, which is going to be this sound in here, byte. And also I want to say, so now I want to position and display the blood stain, which is going to be somewhere like on top of the fish. So this is going to be var x blood equals this dot x, var y blood equals this dot y, and context dot draw image, blood image x blood minus 50, y blood minus 50. All right. I think one of the next things that we'll be doing is the health bar, but I'll just include the logic here right now. So also we want to say health bar dot is fish eaten equals true, return true, true, and close off the bracket. Did I close it? Yes, I did. And I want to say else return false. Alright, so this here pretty much says, you know, all of the things that we have to do if the shark eats a fish. So first of all, we check if it's on top of the shark, we play the sound, we display the blood stain, so this has to be separate, and finally we want to send a signal to the health bar so that we can increase the health bar and the score as well. Alright, and the update is the update for the prey is quite easy. So prey.prototype.update equals function, and the only thing that we want to do is this dot x minus equals this dot velocity x. Alright, and draw is going to be pretty easy as well. So prey.prototype.draw equals function, and inside here I'll say this dot fish sprite. Where's my fish sprite? How was it in the shark? It was this as well. So this dot fish sprite. Yeah. Okay, so this dot fish sprite dot update, and this dot fish sprite dot render this dot x, this dot y. Shouldn't it be just a comma? Where? It's just misplaced. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. Here as well, probably. Okay, this is the prey. Any questions? No? How does that look like? Yes, no, people sleeping. Looks great. Looks amazing. So we had 3 questions. Let me see if I can recall all of them. So right now we don't have a canvas, we don't have a shark, byte sound, and so on. These will be created later on inside the game itself. So inside here, inside the whole project, I'll have a game.js, and we'll initialize the prey, the shark, and so on inside there, so that we can use them. But right now, I just have the names and show you what we have to do as we go along with each class. Okay, for the shark, the question was here about this line of code. This dot velocity y plus equals this dot gravity, and the question was, isn't that gonna make the velocity increase constantly? The answer is yes, unless we press the jump button, which is gonna reset it. Otherwise, you are gonna get faster and faster downwards. And the third question was about why do we need the context here if we're not gonna use it anywhere, and if we are making the things that we have to use global. Well, the answer is I don't know, and if I deleted this when I was writing the game earlier, if I delete this, the images are just not gonna draw, which was very weird, because WebStorm still says unused parameter context. We can try that as well later on, and we'll see if it's fixed somehow while we were writing the code, or something else. Alright, so we've done the prey, which was just a single fish, but actually we want to create a lot of them, and for that I would like to have another class, which is going to be called, how do we call it? So prey collection, maybe, I don't know. This sounds like alright, because we want to be able to handle all of them, at once, like create an array and add elements there, remove elements from there, and so on. So similar to what we did last time with the fire rain, where we had an array, and we were pushing elements in there, and we were deleting them once they died. So this is going to be something similar. Let me just add it to my index.html. So script, and inside here source game script slash prey collection.js. Maybe this one should be after, I don't know. Okay, right, so inside here, function prey collection, which is just gonna be the class, which is gonna do pretty much everything that for the fish. Is gonna create the array and so on. So this dot prey array, which rhymes as well. This dot generate prey frequency is a hard code. Sorry, this is, why is that 0? Oh yeah, I got it. So generate prey frequency, this is going to be what we are going to be using as a sort of a timer to generate a new fish. So this thing we are going to increase by some amount, and once it gets to say that I want to do plus equals 5 at each frame, and once it reaches say 100, then we want to generate a new prey and make it equal to null, to 0. You'll see that in code in just a second. I think it's relatively clear what it does. This is everything that we need, and from here we just wanna make the methods, which are more important here. So prototype dot what should we do first? Let's do update first. Equals function. And what is it that we want to do here? This dot generate prey frequency plus equals 5, as we said. If this dot generate prey frequency equals 120, or 100 is the value that I've chosen, and as soon as I change this specific value, we are going to see more and more fish being generated. So this means that if the game is running in 30 FPS, I think, or 60, I don't know, it should be 60 for Canvas. So every like a second and a half, we'll get a new fish coming on the screen. If I put it at 60 here, it's going to be every, actually not, actually I'm lying, because we increase it with 5 at each frame. This is going to be every 20 frames, so every like 0.66 seconds we'll be generating a new fish, if the game runs at 60 frames a second, which it should. But yeah, so if I put this something like I don't know, 500, this will be 100 frames, which is now going to be, you know, a lot more. Let's leave it at 100, which means actually let me put the brackets. Every, what did I say, every 20 frames, or every 1/3 of a second at 60 FPS, if it runs with 60 FPS anyways. Alright, so inside here I want to say this dot prey array dot push, and inside here just say new prey, and of course this dot generate prey frequency is gonna be 0. So I want to make it null so that I can start adding 5 and 5 and 5 and 5. As soon as it gets to 100, we want to make it 0 as well, so that we can spawn more and more fish. Okay. What else do we need? We actually want to update. We want to update every single fish in our array. So this is what the next thing is. So for var I equals 0, len equals this dot prey array dot length, and this is a horribly written for loop. I less than len and I plus equals 1. I'll explain you why that is. We want to recalculate the length of the array at each step, because we're going to be deleting elements at each step. And if you delete elements, maybe at some point we've deleted one and we want to go to something which is undefined. So yeah, so var current prey equals this dot prey array of I. So just select the current fish that we are going to be updating and so on, and we want to say current prey dot update, and also we want to delete it if it's either eaten or if it's gone outside of the screen. So if current prey dot x less than 0, or current prey dot is eaten. So if one of these two happen, we want to say this dot prey array dot splice I comma 1, and I minus equals 1 and len minus equals 1. Okay, so this line finds the ith element and removes it, pretty much removes it here, which is going to be the current fish that we have. And of course we have to decrease the index so that we not check the same thing again, and we have to decrease the length of the array that we've initially given as this dot prey array of dot length. What else do we have? We have the draw method, which is a lot easier. So prey collection dot prototype dot draw equals function, and inside here for var I equals 0, len equals this dot pray array dot length, I less than len, and I plus plus. Shouldn't we increase the I? No, it's gonna increase from the loop here. So the question, shouldn't we increase the I here? Well, it's gonna increase here as well. So what's gonna happen is we have an array. We are up to here. We wanna delete this element, so we remove it, and all of these, reorder in the same place. Okay, so I want to say I minus equals 1, so get back to this position, and once the loop the loop iterates once again, I'll be checking the next value as well. Okay, yeah, it's a bit weird. I'm sure this was done with a bit trial and error. So yeah, I guess. Right, you may wonder why I say that the length here is that I just give a separate variable for the length. I could do it without it. Here I can just say, well, this dot pray array dot length here, less than this dot pray array dot length. But this is slow in JavaScript. So if you declare everything you need before the for loop, or in the creation of the for loop, it's going to be way faster than if it has to evaluate it every time inside here. So this is why we leave it as len. And inside here I just have to say this dot pray array of I dot draw, the method that we've already written. All right, any questions so far? No? I say that we make a short break and we'll keep going after that. Right, so yeah, the next couple of things are I think easier. So let's create a new JavaScript file here, and we are gonna call this core, which is gonna be the point space in here that we see. So the font with the number and how it's calculated and so on. So let me add it just to the index.html. So somewhere around here, script source equals game script slash score.js. All right, let me zoom in. All right, function score, and inside here the only thing that I'll have is this dot score equals 0, and more importantly we'll have some methods as well. So score dot prototype dot draw, prototype dot draw. Today is just not my day, is it? Yeah, it's fine. Function open close brackets, and inside here we want to say context dot fill style equals black, context dot font equals, and we can say bold 20 pixels papyrus, this way. Okay, so this is from last time, just working with the context of the canvas, which we still don't have, but I'll initialize it a bit later on when we get there. And of course context dot fill text, and we have to say here score plus Okay, inside here, this dot score divided by 100 or 0. Do you remember what this thing did? Or 0? Parses to int, or just rounds the number to an integer. It's the quickest way to do that. All right, dot toString, and we want to place it at 660 and 20 by my calculations. All right, and we have to do the update. So score.prototype.update equals function, and inside here we would like to have this dot score plus equals 10, and if health bar dot is fish eaten. So if we eat a fish, we want to increase the score by, let me see, this dot score plus equals 5,000. So these numbers, I've fiddled with them quite a bit. The reason why they're so big is because they're updated every single frame, and you know, this is why we add 10 at each frame, and then we add 5,000 once we eat a fish. So yeah, this is just, you know, balancing of the game once we've done it, and I was in charge of that, you know, just to balance it, make the health bar, and make it playable, and so on. So I guess that is fine. And of course we have to say here health bar dot is fish eaten equals false. So once we eat a fish, once this is true, and we've added our score, we want to then set it to false. And is there any question around there? Yes. Why is fish eaten in the health bar? Because this is gonna tell us to redraw the rectangle up here, this one. It's gonna tell us to redraw it with a new coordinate. It's like the jump of the shark, right? This is, you know, sort of similar. It's so this thing is once it's here, if we eat a fish, it's just gonna redraw some around there. If we actually had a bigger health bar in the screenshot. Yeah. Okay. Where is my web store? Okay, so this is the score, nothing that special, and we are up to the, let's first do the health bar, I think, because we've mentioned it anyway. So inside here, new JavaScript file is going to be health bar. Is it one word? Actually, I don't know. So script, this is going to be source equals game script slash health bar .js. Okay, zoom in. So this is a bit longer as a class, but the only reason for that is the draw method, which is going to take us, so let's have a look at it closely again. So first of all, we have one rectangle here, which has, you know, stroke style. It has a gradient. So if you see, can I actually look closer? How do I zoom in more? Just with a plus? No, that doesn't work. So yeah. Anyways, if you see here, this is white. This is white. And if you look here, this is sort of grayish. So we have to create a gradient there. And for the inner rectangle, which is going to be the one to update, we also have a gradient from this color to this color as well. So yeah, this is the reason why it's slightly bigger, this class, because we have a bit more drawing to do. So it's going to be function health bar, and we are going to take max HP, constant decrease HP, and fish increment HP this way. All right. So all of these, we can change inside the game state. Okay, so inside here we want to say this dot max HP equals max HP. This dot current. Really, let's change that here. Sorry. The last HP is with a capital. Let's change it there. Okay, so if we initialize the health bar, what do you think the current HP should be? Max HP. So here I'm just gonna say max HP. Okay, so after that we have this dot percentage HP, which is gonna help us determine how big the square should be. So if we have the square, which is, let's say, 800 pixels, okay, and if it's full, it's gonna be at 100%. And let's say that at some point this percentage HP is around, let's say, 80. Then we just have to say, well, draw the same rectangle, but make the width 800 pixels times this 80%, which is the same as 0.8. So yeah, is that sort of clear? Okay, so this has to be equal to what in this case? 100% or just a 1, right? Okay, then we have this dot constant decrease HP equals constant decrease HP. What else do we have? This dot fish increment HP equals fish increment HP. And also this dot is fish eaten equals false. At the beginning there is no way for us to eat a fish. Alright, and then let's go to the methods. So the one that we'll do is healthbar.prototype.draw equals function. Inside here, let's first create the gradient. So var gradient equals context.create linear gradient and 0 0 200 0. So the gradient here is horizontal. This is because of this number here, which is for the x coordinate. So we start at 0 0 and we end up at 200 0, which is gonna make my linear which is gonna make my gradient linear from left to right. Okay, so let's add the first color stop. So gray gradient dot add color stop. Inside here we want to say 0 comma, and the color that I've chosen is hashtag DA. This is going to be sort of, I think this was the dark grayish, and the other one is going to be the light gray. So gray gradient dot add color stop 1, and this is F3 with a hashtag in front. Okay, so context dot fill style equals gray gradient. Context dot line width width equals 0.5, so like a very very light border. What else do we have? Context dot stroke style equals hashtag 7e7e7e, which is just going to be gray as well, but I think this is darker gray. All right, context dot fill rect 9,9,334/20 and then I want to make the same one but stroke, so here it's going to be stroke rect. So what we are doing is we are creating the inner rectangle which you see here, so this white up to this gray. Actually, can you see it on the projector there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so this is white, this is gray, so this is the first thing that we create, and we also create the border, which is slightly darker gray, if you can see it from there, just to have an outline. So yeah, inside this is why I do both fill and stroke rect with the same coordinates. All right, so this was the first bit, so this was the outer rectangle, so from here this is outer rectangle, and inside here we are going to be creating the actually the inner rectangle. So here if you notice, these are fixed and they don't change, but the ones for the inner one are going to change. So let's do that. It's very similar. So var red gradient equals context dot create linear gradient, and again 0 0 200 0, since it's still horizontal. And what else do I have? Red gradient dot add color stop and 0, and the color here is red-ish, slightly lighter. Sorry, this was the darker gray, so this is C1434232 is the one that I have here. Let me just check if that's correct. Yes, and then again red gradient dot add color stop. This is from 1 up to F6 928B. Context dot fill style equals red gradient, and then we have to make the rectangle. So context dot fill rect starts at 1313, so this is slightly further down and to the right. So if you see this, why is this so big? Yeah, I guess that's fine. So if you see it here, it starts slightly further to the right and down, and it's going to be slightly smaller in height as well, so that it will fit in precisely inside the bigger rectangle. So 1313, and now the width, so this is going to be this dot constant HP rectangle. Sorry, what is that? I don't have it here. I've actually missed one thing here. So yeah, this dot constant HP rectangle width. HP rectangle width. Can we just say that this is just constant rectangle width? Or just, yeah, I guess that's fine. This is 334, which is this value here. So let me just do it properly. Rectangle width. So there, and inside here as well, with some offset and with the inclusion of the percentage as well. So it's going to be this times 0.98. If I make it times 1, what we are gonna get is that once we are at full HP, it's gonna be going up to here as well. I mean, just with the outer as well. So I want to make it slightly smaller, and of course we have to multiply it by this dot. What was that? Percentage HP, and give it a constant height of 15 because we don't want the height to change. So I have a typo here. What is happening today? So this is fill rect, and I have to copy all of that, paste it down here. This is gonna be stroke rect. Is there anything that I'm missing? So times 0.98. No, that's fine. Do I have stroke rect for, sorry? For the red part? Yes, there it is. I don't have stroke style, but I don't need to redefine it if I want to use the same one. And in this case, I want to use the same one. I could have said, you know, inside here, so just copy that, paste it here as well if I want to reset it somewhere around here and say, well, I want this to be black or green, and make it slightly slightly thicker, the border, but I'll just keep the one that I already have. So if I don't reset anything, it's gonna just stay with the ones that I've defined above. Yeah? Question? What does that 50 mean at the end is the question. This is the height of my inner rectangle, and as we said, it has to be slightly smaller than the one for the outer rect, which was 23, I think. So for the outer one is 23, for the inner one is 15, so that I can fit it inside. Yeah, okay. So this one is 15. It's moved slightly further inside the bigger rectangle, and this one is 23. These are calculations that I made before, but all of this is done with you know, just trying out some values for x and y. All right, then health bar dot prototype dot update equals function. The update, I think, is not that complicated as well. So at each frame we want to decrease the HP. Minus equals this dot constant decrease HP. What else is there that we want to say? So if this dot current HP is less than or equal to 0, we want to set this dot, how did we call this constant? Just 1 second. Rectangle width equals 0, and the reason for that is that we are going to get an error if we try to draw a rectangle with a negative width, and this is why I want to make sure that as soon as you know it's a game over, I'm not going to have some additional frame which is going to break the game because I cannot draw it with a negative width, the rectangle. So this is a check for that. If this dot is fish eaten, this dot current HP plus equals this dot fish increment HP, which is relatively clear. Also, if so, we have the check for if it's less than 0, but what happens if it's actually more than 100 percent. So if we eat a fish and we are at say 99%, what's gonna happen? We are gonna get an even bigger rectangle. So we need to have a check for that as well. So if this dot current HP is bigger than this dot max HP, then we want to say this dot this that was funny, I'm sorry. It's very interesting the way the letters of this are ordered. So this dot current HP equals this dot max HP, I think. Yeah. And then after that, this dot percentage HP. Now we want to calculate the percentage from up here that I was explaining about. So at first it starts at 1, and I want to update it at each frame to be the percentage of health we have relative to the max health, so that we can transfer it to the rectangle width as well. So it's going to be this dot percentage HP equals this dot current HP divided by this dot max HP. Okay, everything fine. And the last thing that remains is to draw the background, I think, which was where are you? Yeah, there it is. Sorry, can play the game now? No, we can't, because these are just the classes that we are making, and I've actually not initialized anything at this point. So if I try to run it now, I don't even know what we are gonna get, but we don't have any buttons. We have nothing at this point. We just have our canvas, which is right here, and nothing else. Right? I don't have buttons. I don't have start game. The only thing that I'm doing is creating the classes that we are later gonna use for the game. All right. So one more, which is gonna be called background. So new JavaScript background, and inside here I want to say script source slash background. Can we turn some lights on, please? So we need function background, which is gonna take context, also image source, position Y, velocity X. Okay, this dot image equals new image, the same as what we've done with the shark and the prey. This dot image dot source equals image source, which we are gonna apparently give from here. This is weird because different people were writing the classes. So at one point we just give them inside here, as you know, you know, just a value, and in some classes we just give them from the constructor, which is a bit weird, but I'll just stick with it. And we can change it after. This dot x equals 0. This dot y equals position y. This dot velocity x equals velocity x. All right. Then we have background dot prototype dot draw equals function, and remember that we are gonna draw two of them, and we're gonna swap them once one of them reaches the end. So if I have if one of them, let me put the red on. So if one of them is here and the other one is here, this one moves left, this one moves left. As soon as this one reaches the end, we are just gonna transport it at the front, and it's still gonna move, you know, left. All right. So to do that, we have context dot draw image. It's gonna be this dot image, not there. This dot image, this dot x, this dot y. So all of this, you know, this draw image method comes from the canvas, and we also have pretty much the same, with one key difference. We would like to change the y, so it's gonna be this dot image dot width minus this dot x. Does that sound? I guess this is gonna work just fine. And also if this dot x is bigger than this dot image dot width, inside here I want to say this dot x equals 0, just to reset it. Is that right? Y equals 0. This is for the ship, and also for the from the sea. They start from right to left, so yeah, this is correct. So the ships start from here and then they move left. So why is that? Sorry? Just a second. Right, it's a bit weird for me to figure out why do we reset it at 0 at this point, but I'm sure that this is gonna work, and we'll see why, what's happening once we can play the game. And of course, at the end, we want to move it left at each step. So this is like, we can have a separate update function, but for a single line of code, it doesn't make that much sense to do that. All right. So these were all of the classes that we needed, but so far when we start the game, nothing happens. And we actually have to now combine and instantiate and initialize all of the things, and we want to make the game itself. This was just the structure. So inside the project, I'll create my JavaScript file, which is going to be called game.js. And inside here, we'll be typing the game itself. Just a second. All right, so let's start with the usual stuff. So var canvas equals document dot get element by ID. And how did I call it? Was it just canvas? Let me check. Yeah, just canvas. All right. And after that, we want to get the context. So var context equals canvas dot get context 2D. Remember, this has to be not with a capital but with a small letter. All right. So if you tried your animations from last time, you would have noticed that they don't work in Firefox probably, or they just work in Chrome and maybe the newest version of Internet Explorer. So this is fixed with the following lines of code, which you shouldn't ever remember. Just take them from the internet. So if there is no window.request animation frame, only then you would probably load it from somewhere else. So window.request animation frame equals, and now here we are just gonna list all of the similar functions which give you the animation for your either game or app or whatever you want to do. So this is window.webkit request animation frame, or window.o request animation frame. Why is there a callback here? No reason. Or window dot moz request animation frame, window dot ms request. I don't even know what that last one is. Can you tell me what that last one is? So this is for Opera, this is for Firefox, this is for this is for Internet Explorer. All right. I'm still very puzzled at why there are these different things for different browsers. Can't they just stick to the regular one, or just pick one and choose that? But it's I guess that would be it. Or if you don't have any of these, function callback, and inside here return window.set timeout, callback 1000 divided by 60. I have no idea what this does. I just know that if we have the animation frame, it's fine. Else, we just try to give it a value which is going to be one of these for the different browsers. Or if we don't have any of these, or any of these don't work, then we just do it with another function with which you can also make an animation, which is window.set timeout, which would probably work everywhere, but I'm not sure. So this is just for cross browser solution. Okay, do I have anything else here? So here I have to close the bracket that I've opened, and sorry, it's here, but I closed that. So where is my bracket coming from? So I have one here. I don't know where this one comes from. Let me just check. Sorry? Line 5. Yeah, it's probably from here. Yeah, because this whole thing is just, yeah, it's fine. It's from here. Okay, so let's create, let's call them enumeration. Let's call it an enumeration of our game states, although that's a bit far-fetched by JavaScript standards, because this is just a var. So this is going to be var game state equals object, and inside here we are going to say start screen 0, game on 1, game over 2, high scores, which is going to be 3, credits, which is 4, and then exit, which is going to be 5. Okay, and just to start things off, var game state equals game state dot start screen. Okay, so we are gonna start with just adding the states in the next function, and I hope that we'll start to see at least the backgrounds and stuff like that. So let's get on with that. So it's gonna be function enter game state, and we are gonna be taking game state, and inside here we'll have switch game state. Okay, so this is going to be case game state dot start screen. Okay, here we would like to do something and then break, and I just want to copy all of that. Oops. How many were there? 6, so one more. Okay, inside here, the second one is game on, the next one is game over, the next one is high scores, the next one is credits, this one is exits. Alright, so the next couple of lines that I will write is not something that we've done in lectures, but it's, I hope, fairly easy to understand what each one of them does. So yeah, actually not there, but here. Inside here we want to say window dot add event listener, and we are going to listen for click, and we are going to execute on mouse click event, and this false, what is this? Use capture. Does anyone know what that is? False? No. Well, it's false, whatever that is. We're not gonna use it. Okay. And after that, we wanna draw the screen. So we'll say draw screen, context, and then images start screen .png. All right. If I start it now, is anything gonna happen at all? Nope. I guess we have to type in some more code. So yeah, let me go in here inside game.js. Probably, is there anything that I'm not doing that I should be doing in the end? Probably enter game state. Yeah, I don't call it anywhere, so probably somewhere around here, enter game state of game state. So this one. And we still don't have anything, which is weird. Yeah, I don't know. I guess once we... Sorry? Do we have game.js in index? No, we don't. That was a good catch. So let's add it there as well. Script, source, game.js. And how about now? Still no. Alright, what do you want? Default apps. Music player, photo view, web browser. Okay, I'll choose Chrome. And are you gonna be asking me again? Alright, let's see what's happening here. Maybe some error? Yeah, there is an error. What are you? On mouse click event is not defined. Yeah, we have to define that as well, but I don't see it in my code right now. Actually, I do. But it's a bit long and it's after that, so we will get to it. So I have not defined this this function, which has to be has to run whenever we click on something. All right. Anyways, so let me finish this one, and we'll have a short break as well. So yeah, draw screen, and after that we have, okay, once we have game on, we have window dot add event listener, and inside here I'll say key down space down event comma false. Also window dot add event listener key up, and this is going to be space up event comma false. Window dot request animation frame draw frame. Sorry? Do we need the space up event? Well, do we need the key? You asked for the first one or for the second one? For the second one. I don't know. For key up, you think we need just one of them? Okay, let me comment that, and if it doesn't work, we will get back here. I don't know. The way I think now, and it sounds very logical, that we are not going to be using the space up event, but inside my code here I have a function for the space up event, which is just a single line which sets some boolean to false, I think. So we'll see if we even need to have that. To prevent key holding. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what that is about. Okay, for the game over, we just draw screen context images / game over.png, and that's it. For the high scores, we have draw screen context images / high scores.png. So those PNGs are what I have in images. So this is the game over. Our shark has become sushi, and also we have start screen and high scores. These are the ones that we are doing now. So game.js. All right, draw screen. Okay. I need okay, I'll leave that for a bit later on once we get to the high scores, I think, because I'm missing a couple of lines of code. This is going to be draw screen context images / credits.png, and the final one is going to be window.location.href equals https google.com. So once you press the exit button, it's just gonna redirect you to Google or your favorite website. And here the default is gonna be break. So default break. Okay, let's have a break. Then we will try to at least run the game by doing a couple of methods, and after that we will get to the game itself. Alright, so I made a couple of changes to the code. So I added this script, sprite.js at the top because it was causing problems, because we are using a method from here which is draw screen down here. We are using it inside another one, and inside game.js, and apparently it hasn't loaded before we actually call it. So this method. I also added this function on mouse click event, which is just gonna iterate through the states. since it was gonna take me about 30 more minutes to write that, and it's nothing that complicated, and it's nothing that that interesting to spend time on it. So what we do here is for the high scores, we have to, in this case, remove the text if we change the state. So say that we are in a high scores or credits. If we press exit, we want to remove the high score from there, or the what else was there, or the there was some other text in the credits. We also want to change the game state and enter the game state as well. What else is there? So here are the buttons which are invisible, so we get the X and Y of the mouse, and once we click, we just give coordinates for the pointer of the mouse. If we click on a specific set of coordinates, then it's going to be new game. If you click on another, it's going to be high score. These are the buttons that we see right here. So these buttons, they're just surrounded by a rectangle, if you want to think of it this way, which is just described here. And we have, all of the buttons. So new game, high scores, credits, and exit. So if we choose new game, so if we've clicked on the button new game, then we start the game state game on. If we choose high scores, then we start the high score states, and so on. So yeah, this is the thing that I copied because it was gonna take me bit of time to write that, and it's nothing that special or interesting for us to spend time on it. So yeah, so let's actually start with the game. Let me check if there is anything else that needs attention. There is the space down event, which we are gonna do now. Actually no, let's actually do it later. So yeah, let's start with the actual game. So somewhere, where should I put this? Probably inside here. Game stuff, start here. Okay, so what are we gonna be needing at first? So we are gonna be needing a shark. So var shark equals new shark, and we have to give it a context, which is something that we already have and we defined up here. So we have to give it a context, a starting x and starting y. So in this case 150 and 250 is what I have chosen. Var prey array is going to be new prey collection, and we have nothing in there. So var health bar equals new health bar. So here we have to define the max HP, which is 3000, as I've chosen, then 5, and then 330. So this was, so what were those? I don't remember. So comma, space, the constant with which we decrease the HP, and how much is we how much are we gonna increment the HP if we eat a fish. So 5 and then 330. Right. Var scores, or score equals new score. Okay, var ocean floor background equals new background, and this is gonna be context, comma, images slash boat. Sorry, this is not the boat. Ocean floor.png, ocean dash floor.png. Let me just check if that's how it's called. Ocean floor png, that's it. And we also have to give it some positioning, so 42 and then 2. And I have to create another one, which is going to be var boat background, which equals new background So context images slash boat dot png, is that how it's called? Yes. And okay, also var high score equals 0, var $ draw high score, and var body equals $body. So these two are from jQuery. Since we want to make the scores appear on the screen as a span, we want to be able to locate the body tag and insert inside draw high score span element, which I think is probably somewhere around here. Actually, here we remove it, and later on in I don't know which method now, we are going to be putting it inside the HTML. But as of the game logic, this is the only thing that we are concerned with currently. Okay, so what else do we need? We need var blood image equals new image, and blood image dot source equals images slash blood dot png, and this is the only one with a capital letter. I have no idea why. Blood double O. Alright, okay, then we need some sounds. So the sounds that I have, so they are gonna be var byte sound equals new audio, and inside here sounds byte dot wav. Okay, var game over sound new audio sounds game over dot wav, and var background song. This is the song that just loops through new audio sounds slash main dot mp3. Okay, and the background one, as soon as it stops, we wanna set it to loop. So this is gonna be background song dot loop equals true. Typo where song, yeah. Okay, so as you can see, once we start the game on, we would like to reset the game to start all over, and this is this we want to do every time when we actually click on the play button. So this is the method that I'll be doing now. So it's going to be function reset game. Okay, and we want to say background song dot play. We also want to say prey array equals new prey collection. We want to reset that as well. We want to say shark equals new shark context 150 to 150, and health bar equals new health bar 3000, and what was that, 330, or was it, yeah, it's 5. Okay, and scores score equals new score. Okay. Okay, let's make the space button. So this is going to be var space button down equals false. Function space down event, and this is going to take an event. If event dot keycode equals 32, which is the key code for the space, and also if space button down. So if we've pressed it once, we don't want it to be pressed many times, right? So we are just gonna execute this only once. Even if we continuously hold the space button, this is gonna be executed only once, and I'll show you why. So this is gonna be space button down equals true. So we are not gonna get in here more than once unless we reset it, which is why we are gonna need the above method, which is right here, this one, and I'll show you that one in a second as well. All right, so space button down equals true, and what is it that we want to do when we press space? We want to say shark dot jump. Yeah. Okay, and we want to say also, so the next function is going to be simply to reset this space button down to false again once we've let go of the space bar. So this is going to be function space up event, and this is going to be space button down equals false, so that even if we continuously press it, it's gonna be reset here to true, so we're not gonna have the shark jumping, you know, many times. And once we let go, then we'll be able to you know, press space again and go in here to make the shark jump. All right, what else is that we want? The actual game update method. So let's just check where are we at now. So let's play the game from here. At least we know that the there is an error somewhere. Shark is not defined. Var shark equals new shark. Huh, interesting. The problem is, I guess, that inside my index.html, game.js has to be at the very bottom. I am not very sure though, because we are using the shark, or at least the shark has to be above the game.js, I think. Let's see if that's gonna solve the problem. Okay, no, because inside here my function is with a capital shark. Okay, so prey should be as well. We got a different error, so where is prey? Prey is there, and prey collection as well. Maybe everything, I don't know, so I would not risk it with everything. So F5, health bar is not defined, so let's move that up as well. I doubt that it's gonna be everything, to be honest, but you know, you could be right. Score as well, and the background. Okay, so yeah, it's at the bottom then. So let me remove that line and probably now run. Yeah, okay, we have it. So now we can click on the high scores, the sounds play, and if I press new game, nothing is gonna happen since we have not, you know, started the game. But yeah, this works now. Okay. Right. So let's get back in here, and where were we? We actually want to have the animation, or the window dot request animation frame. We want to actually be able to, you know, display the animation, which is going to be our game. So it's going to be function draw frame, and inside here we're going to have if game state equals game state dot game on. We would like to clear the whole canvas. So right now on the canvas we have drawn some sprites which we have. So the start screen or the game over screen, whatever we are at the moment, we want to clear everything. So we have to say context dot clear rect. This is a method from a canvas which just deletes pixels, and that's going to be 0 0 and canvas dot width, canvas dot height. All right. What else is it that we want to do? So we want to do boat background dot draw, ocean floor background dot draw, and let me put inside here window dot request animation frame draw frame canvas. And invalid, actually I got this as well, but it still worked. So now if I press new game, nothing happens. Oh yeah, we saw the background, but for a very short time, and it shouldn't be there as well. I don't know. Let's see what else we can add to fix this. Why are you there? Have I done something wrong? I probably did something wrong. Have I messed those up? 42. Oh yeah, I don't have position for the boat, so let me check what that was. So 42.2. So the ocean floor is actually 370 and 4. We're just on a new line and I didn't see it. And the boat is on 42.2. 42.2. So now if we start it again, those should be where they are. Sort of. Alright, we'll see what's wrong there in a bit, I think. But I want to have this line here as well, which is on top, but it's still inside the canvas. So I want to draw that as well so that it doesn't look weird. So I'll add it. I'll add it here. So this function is going to be function draw canvas top border, and this is going to be taking position Y, so how high we want to place that line. And inside here we want to say context dot begin path, context dot move to. This is gonna be 0 and position Y, and we want to draw it all the way to the end. So context dot line 2 canvas dot width comma position Y, and also we want to say context dot stroke this way and line 2 here this way. Okay, I want to call it inside here, so I want to say draw canvas top border, and the one that we've chosen I think was 40, if I'm not mistaken. 40, yeah. Okay, so let's see at least if the line is drawn. Yeah, the line is here, but this one goes to the right for some reason, and I really don't know why. And in fact, this whole background is a bit of a mess. So I'll look that up in a bit. But anyway, so we can add the shark as well. So shark.update, shark.draw, we can do the pray array dot update pray array dot draw. And what else was there? We have the health bar dot update health bar dot draw, score dot update score dot draw, and yeah, I guess that's probably about it. We have a couple of more things like a game over screen, but now it's, you see the fish, they're moving. We don't have, so one thing that we do not have is a game over condition, because I can go outside of the canvas, which is absolutely fine. I can go under, but yeah. Right, so let's try to fix the bug, and it should be somewhere in the background. And I have no idea why. So this is the second one that we draw. Is that a plus? Is that gonna quickly fix things without me thinking at all what's going on? That was a lucky guess. Yeah, that was really a lucky guess. So yeah, but they're still not redrawing. So let's fix that. So they're still not redrawing. So where should I? This dot x. So I think it's probably this thing right here. But let me think for it. So if this dot x is actually smaller than 0, then we wanna say this dot x equals this dot this dot, where should we place it? We don't have this dot canvas dot width, so this dot image dot width. Let's see if this is gonna fix anything at all. Probably plus something, I think, but
now it starts from the beginning. This dot x smaller than.
Plus, sorry, what?
This dot x.
Oh, plus equals.
No, this dot x.
Yeah.
Plus this dot image width.
This way.
Or minus, yes. Try this way. If it's not a plus, minus.
If it's not a plus, it will be a minus.
So now the ship is going to the
That is weird.
but the ship is going to the end.
But the ship is okay. So let us try to fix it, and I'll get back on when we do. Alright, so this piece of code I did not write myself. So I have some sort of explanation for it, but please don't quote me on that. So yeah, honestly, I have no idea what's going on, so I'll just read it. So yeah, we have so we draw the first image normally, then we draw the second one with an offset of this dot image width. And then we subtract for some reason math.apps absolute value of this dot x, and then we make the if statement with math.absolute value of this dot x bigger than this dot image width, and then we set it to 0. And I have no idea why this works. There's probably some good explanation for it. If any one of you can try to explain, then I'll be fine repeating your words, but no. Okay, GG. Yeah, but now it sort of works. So yeah, and the background is drawn correctly, I think, and everything is fine. We can play. So the only thing that's left is adding the game over, because I can go up and down. It's not very fun game if you can't die, and even if my health bar goes to 0, I still don't die. So let's do that as well. So let's go in here and add the game over condition, which was in game.js. So inside here, actually let me find my sheet. I got slightly confused here. So yeah, it's gonna be down here. So if, what is that gonna be? So if shark.y is less than 40, or I said shark.y is bigger than 570, or health bar dot current HP is less than or equal to 0. And okay, so if we're below 40, which means that we're somewhere under the ocean bottom ocean level, and we are above the if we've hit the boats, then we should die as well. Or if the health bar current HP is less than or equal to 0, then there are a couple of things that we have to do. So background song.pause, background song.current time equals 0 if we want to play that again. Game over sound.play, and game state equals game state dot game over. Okay, and finally we want to save the high score. If so var high score less than score dot score. Maybe that should be value, but I don't know. Let's leave it as is. So score was the variable score, which was drawing itself and updating and so on, and the variable inside, which is actually an integer, is called score as well. I would call it a value. So yeah, and then we want to say high score equals score dot score, and that will be it. So let's have a look and play that again. So first of all, we have no high score. New game, and let's check if we die here. Yes, we die, but something happened because it blocked for some reason. Nothing happened. I don't know. I don't change the state, do I? Game state equals game state dot game over, and I have to say, what was the method that changed the states? Where was it? Enter game state. Thank you. So enter game state. Enter game state of game state. Let's try that again. So new game. If we hit the top, this is it. High score. We still don't have it. I'll look up where that is. So if we hit the bottom, we are fine. And if we die because we are hungry, that works as well. So let's see what's happening with the let's see what's happening. Change state should be lost. You are correct. So let's try that again. So if we get to 10 high score, we still don't display it. So yeah, I need a second. That was, I know what that was. I said that I would leave it for later, and then I didn't write it, so it's up here. So game on is this way. Game high scores, yeah, it's here. So inside here we should say $.draw high score equals dollar span this way, dot text math dot round high score divided by 100. Okay, then we want to say draw high score dot offset, and here I have a weird calculation to place that, so it's going to be top canvas dot offset top plus 150 comma canvas dot offset left plus 260. Am I doing something wrong? Offset. I'm missing a key. Ah, yeah, left. Is that left? Yeah, that is left. And okay, and then we want to say body dot append draw high score. Yeah, so what this thing does with jQuery is we make ourselves a span element with the following text. We place it accordingly in our HTML, and then we append it to the body, which is pretty much the same as me going in here and typing span and giving it the text which was here and placing it with the CSS, but this can just be done with the two lines of jQuery, and now that should be fine, I think. So let's try it. So 10, 63, high score is 66. There. Weird. I don't know. I don't know where that is from. All right. Are there any questions? Anything that we didn't cover, or I said that I'll cover and then I didn't? Something that I wanted to change but I didn't change, and I remember maybe of something like this, but I don't remember what it was. Yes, you have a question. How did I, sorry, center the canvas? I think it's from the style.css. Position absolute, position relative. Sorry, this one. Margin auto. So if we put that to be 0, it should be placed somewhere else in the top left corner. So if you say auto, then it's gonna place it in the center. Top bottom. I don't need those. Maybe I don't. Let's have a look. Probably do. So let's leave those, and we're back in the middle. Okay. I think we had a similar problem in Fractal games where if you don't set all of these to 0 and you say auto, you want to place it in the middle, it was just going to stay at the top left corner as well. So you have to have those to be able to use auto as well. Sorry, if it's 0? Here, margin 0 and then auto. Yeah, let's have a look. I'm not a CSS expert by any means. Still not gonna work. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? So in conclusion, I would like to say that making games with pure JavaScript, pure HTML, and pure CSS, pure Canvas is quite a tedious thing to do. You can do that, we've used some CSS, we've used the HTML here to define the script. The game.js honestly looks terrible. But you know, the classes are sort of fine if you can just not think about, you know, this line of code, background, prototype, draw, even. And also if you have to have, so here we have, you know, simply just, you know, shark and prey and backgrounds and so on. But what happens if you have soldiers and they're, you know, different types, and you have to have inheritance and so on? It's going to become a nightmare. And the point is that doing games, you know, with pure JavaScript and Canvas and so on is a bit hard and a bit tedious, and I'm sure it was a bit tedious for you as well. But you know, that's how you do it. And there are tools which help you to do it a lot easier. And this is going to be the next course, which is going to be Phaser. So, you know, animations, sprites, moving all objects around. So the only way that we can actually move an object and make an animation here is by using this horrible code, and then, you know, just making a function, calling the request animation frame of the same function and so on, which is, you know, a bit uncomfortable for game development, to say the least. And if we use Phaser or probably any other JavaScript game engine, that you were gonna have many things given to you by default, something like an update method, something like a draw method. It looks very similar to what you've seen in Monogame. And you also, you know, loading images, animations, physics, and all of these that here we are writing by hand. Even that sprite.js that I didn't want to go into detail at all about it. All of that you were just given inside the engine, and you can use freely, and you don't have to think that much about, you know, is it gonna run on different browsers and so on. It just makes the whole process a lot easier, because this whole thing is kind of weird to do. And also this game only runs, I think, or the sounds only run properly on Internet Explorer and Chrome, and on Firefox there is no sound. And even if we go on game.js, somewhere around here where I say new audio, here it even underlines it, unknown type, and so on. So all of these things are handled for you inside the game engine. And also a big plus is that there is a thing called TypeScript, which just gonna make your code look normal, because making a game with JavaScript, it looks a bit terrible, to be honest. But yeah, so this, what you've learned from this course is just an introduction to the next one. And it's not that you are not gonna need any of these. So once we start working with Phaser, you see many similarities of the way we draw shapes as with the canvas. You have to know what index.html is. You have to know how to load styles from the CSS. So yeah, the things that you've learned from this course will still be, you know, will be good, and you will be able to use them, and you should know them. But we are just gonna make our life a lot easier using TypeScript and Phaser. I just wanted to show you how you could make a game from scratch by just, you know, pure JavaScript and HTML and CSS. Right. So any other questions? The animations are due on Friday. Please send them to my email, which I'm not gonna give here. I'll give it in a second. And yeah, so the next lecture will be next Monday. So this Thursday we are skipping one. The next lecture will be on Monday, where we'll start the Phaser course, and I'll do the usual introduction of the course, and then we'll decide on a game topic for the game that I'll be writing here, which I hope that it's gonna be pleasant and it's gonna be nice, and we are gonna make millions out of it, because, you know, 20 people are gonna be thinking on an idea, and if it's not in the end some kind of, you know, great amazing game idea, then I don't know. So yeah, we'll see. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you